for black girl nerds.
Well, I'll tell you something, Archie. I'm gonna change the way they make movies in this town. I'm gonna make sure that people like us aren't on the outside looking in anymore.
What do you mean, people like us?
Folks who aren't white.
You ain't white?
Asian. Half.
You shit me.
Huh? My whole life, I feel like I've been living in a really convincing costume.
Yeah. But you could pass. That ain't like being black.
You sound like my girlfriend.
Hold up. You dating a sister? Wow. It's gotta be tough, though. Can't go out together.
Yeah, some places they don't mind. The world's changing.
Maybe. But it ain't changing fast. So, Dick Samuels. I think he knows.
Knows what?
That I'm black.
He doesn't already know?
I never met anybody in person. I mailed in my script. He called me on the telephone. I told him, golly, Mr. Samuels, I'm just over the moon. You like my script.
You did not do that.
Golly, Mr. Samuels. I did.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Buster, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna find out pretty soon.
Thank you, all of you, for your performance. When enemies become friends, and our favorite advocate. We're waiting to see the series get started. I'll start with Darren. Your character Raymond is very pivotal to bringing forth the picture that will bring these ladies together and ultimately make them stars. It's so important for women and people of color to have an advocate. So it's been interesting to see that in your role. What was the experience like playing this role for you, and his part in how he navigates with everyone and bring the picture forth?
You know, I couldn't help but think of Ryan Murphy himself. I mean, Ryan Murphy is a dream maker. I was just telling this the other day. He's a man that, small town Indiana, closeted kid that had to bust his ass to make it to a position to where he could like burst the door open for all his, contemporaries and his colleagues and for people that he believed in. And he's made a lifelong goal of making dreams come true for other people, myself included, these ladies, a lot of other people. And so you kind of see a composite version of that in Raymond, someone who kind of sees past the ceiling. There's this thing of like, you can't do this. And, they don't see the wall. They see the perforation in between. They're like, no, the world can be this way. Why don't I just bust my ass to make you see it be that way? And so, I think there's a bit of Ryan's ambition in someone like Raymond, who, let's not forget, like, let's call a spade, is a white passing male. And so, if that's sort of like the skeleton key to get in there to kind of, start the fire a little bit, that's something that Ryan has always talked about. Even though he's an advocate for so many different kinds of people, obviously, he, as a white man, will tell you, there's a certain privilege that he was given. Obviously, as a gay man, he had a lot of adversity in his life. But, I think in recent years, with a lot of his outspoken, advocacy, he kind of recognizes that there is this sort of thing that let him get in by way of being a white male. And, that's sort of an unfortunate truth that I think we're doing an excellent job of dismantling. But I think guys like Ryan and guys like Raymond Ainsley recognize the sort of access they have and utilizing that to its highest degree to make sure that they can make that the least important thing about their message, that they can really kind of bait and switch the bad guys to being like, no, but here's what we really need to do. So getting to be a version of that is something that I've never really had to think about, because I am like a mixed race kid, but because I'm so damn white passing, I've never really thought about it as a crusade so much. So when Ryan really wanted to include that in the story, I was kind of moved by the idea that there are people in my position that have an access and therefore a responsibility to make sure that they are representing and advocating for as many people as possible. Did I screw any of that up?
No, not at all. Not at all. Laura and Samara, you ladies, to see your journey where you began and where you ultimately end as the series concludes, not to spoil it for anything, Laura, your character takes us on such an emotional ride where it's talent and being overlooked as a Black female and being marginalized and forced to play these very specific roles that women of that era and even now, to a sense, are kind of pigeonholed into a certain role
Mhm.
as an actress starting her career in Hollywood. What was it like to step in that role of Camille and almost kind of actualize what a lot of actresses or Black actresses are facing right now?
You know, Camille was a character that I could really connect with a lot on so many levels. I think that had I been born 80 years earlier, you know, my life could have been a lot like hers of wanting to, you know, having an idea and wanting to tell these sort of stories. And, you know, I'm so fortunate to be born at a time when that was possible. And that for her, it wasn't. And she had to shatter all of these ceilings to be able to go forward and to be, you know, recognized and seen for her talents and not overlooked just because that she's a Black woman. So I think that not just in Hollywood, but across all industries, people of color, especially women of color, can understand what it's like to be marginalized and it's like to be pigeonholed and looked to the side. So I think it was just really good to be able to tell the story and with a happier ending than what had happened in the past. And really to just pay homage to the women who were able to pave the way, especially at that time, like Dorothy Dandridge and Lena Horne, who were the first and didn't have anyone to look up to or didn't have anyone to kind of show them how they can walk this walk. Um, so I just wanted to represent them and then, you know, represent women further in Hollywood.
And lastly, Samara, your character takes us on quite an emotional journey from starting from a place of privilege to where she ultimately ends up. And it's really a wonderful emotional transformation. What insight would you give us about your character?
Well, so I think Claire when you first meet her, she's uh, very self-seeking and ambitious and would do anything and everything to be a star. And I think her relationship with Camille, she slowly realizes how naive and selfish she has been, and that and she becomes aware of the privilege and power she has, and essentially helps Camille by sort of taking a step back because she knows that that's what is necessary historically to make a change. So you see that sort of arc of her discovering her privilege and just how naive she can be. And I think a lot of white women don't see that and are a little blinded by that. So I hope that that story can change people's minds about that.
All right. Thank you so much. They're giving me the hook. Thank you so much, you guys. I enjoyed your performance greatly. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hey there, beautiful lady.
What are you doing?
Just saying hi before my big meeting. What are you so afraid of? You're one of Ace Pictures' newest contract players.
Please. They're paying me $25 a week to take acting classes, and they're not going to like seeing a white man kissing me.
Well, you may feel like an outsider, but when these folks look at you, they don't see one. Who's holding court over there?
My competition.
Christ, I gotta go.
Good luck.